up, everybody? Welcome to Relic's Rant. It's one of my YouTube episodes that you'll catch. You won't catch me doing it too much on my Vapors TV show because I get kind of carried away with this shit sometimes. Anyways, today we are here to discuss this little twit here. Congresswoman Spear. She has decided to take it upon herself to not oversee the FDA regulations, but to jump the boundaries and override the FDA deeming regulations. She wants to enact a smoke act regulating e-cigarettes, which she will go ahead and control it, basically. She's going to make the laws on it. At least that's what I'm getting from it. But anyways, I started to watch this video, and I'm sitting there watching the video and listening to it, and I'm going, bullshit, 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 bullshit. Everything they're saying is bullshit. So I decided, you know what, let's dissect this video, and let's call out all their bullshit. Each and every last one of them that you're going to see on this is either going to have bullshit to say or not say anything of any importance at all whatsoever. So we're going to go ahead and do this. When I originally decided to do it, what I was going to do was come up with these funny little pictures to explain the bullshit. Not even really funny little pictures, just facts that are going to prove they're full of bullshit. And I got, oh my god, maybe 7 minutes into the video, and I said, you know what, I'm done doing it this way. We're just going to run with it. So the beginning of the video, you're going to see me throw up some pictures to demonstrate why I say they're calling bullshit, and then the rest of it, it's just going to be me pretty much ad-libbing it, because most of this is common sense bullshit. I mean, if you got a brain in your frickin' head at all, you can call the bullshit. So let's go ahead and start this, and trust me, it won't take me long to stop the video.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us for this press conference. I'm Jackie Spear. I'm a congresswoman representing San Francisco and San Mateo County, and we are all gathered here today because there is a public health issue that must be addressed. Gummy bears, cotton candy, chocolate mint, thin mint are not flavors at a local ice cream shop. Instead,
what? Gummy bears, cotton candy, mint chocolate chip, and thin mint are not flavors at your local ice cream parlor. Bullshit. Right there. Let's see. You got Dairy Queen with their cotton candy blizzard, Baskin & Robbins with their mint chocolate chip, Dryers with their thin mint, and the gummy bear one, I'm really sorry, I don't recognize the cup, but the cup tells me that that is an ice cream parlor that they got that from. So saying that those are not flavors in ice cream parlors is obviously common sense bullshit.
those are the flavors that you can get for e-cigarettes. And if you look over here, you'll see that there's a gummy bear flavor here. All of these e-cigarette holders are clearly aimed at not adults, but young people.
So the cotton candies and the gummy bears and all them wonderful flavors are not aimed at adults, but they're aimed at teens, kids. Okay. Bullshit. Do yourself a favor, go to YouTube. I know you have a YouTube, or not YouTube, Twitter. I know you have a Twitter because I've tweeted you. Do a hashtag search for adults like flavor and tell me once again how it's geared towards kids, because every one of these I see are adults posting. And look, one's got their kid. Just think, they quit smoking. I'm going to say it right here. 45 today, my e-liquid flavor is honey and sweet. The other one is you're misrepresenting e-cigs. They have helped me quit smoking. Today's flavor, baked apple pie. 45, today my e-liquid flavor is baked apple pie. What you're not getting is the concept and the fact that e-cigarettes are getting people off tobacco. The cancer-causing combustible tobacco is what they're getting off of. So, in all reality, you're not doing this to help the kids, so please quit trying to bullshit us. And let's go on.
The e-cigarette industry has also lured children and teenagers with aggressive marketing tactics that give them the impression if you use e-cigarettes, you're going to be sexy, or you're going to be glamorous, or you're going to be cool. A study...
So if you use e-cigarettes according to this ad, you're going to be sexy, glamorous, and cool. So that's is directed at teens. If you want to be sexy, glamorous, and cool, you must use the blue e-cigs. Bullshit. Let's see. Nice hottie there. Advertising for blue e-cigarettes, and I'm an adult, and I like that. So once again, I call bullshit. That's not aimed at teens. That is aimed directly at me, I guess.
From the American Academy of Pediatrics found that youth exposure to e-cigarettes TV ads has increased 256% just in the last 2 years. Young adults have seen an exposure by some 321%. And the truth is, all this advertising has worked. Usage of electronic cigarettes in middle and high school students has more than doubled in the last 2 years. Although the...
Okay, that's something I want to definitely point out. Am I going to call bullshit on it? Well, actually, I'm going to call half bullshit. The reason why I'm calling it half bullshit is because, yes, it is a proven fact that e-cig vaping among teens is on the rise. But what you're not pointing out is the USA Today story right there. Teen cigarettes. Teens choosing health. Smoking kids at a landmark low. So you're going to go and push your propaganda about teen e-cigarette usage on the rise. But you're not going to tell the somewhat good side of that. That teen smoking is now at a landmark low. This could be attributed to teens using e-cigarettes instead of smoking. I don't know. Do I recommend kids using e-cigarettes? No, I don't. Do I recommend them smoking? Hell no, even more. So, you know what? Sometimes you gotta take the good with the bad. The bad is teens are e-cigarette using e-cigarettes, or vaping, as I prefer to call it, more than they were. The good side of that is they're not smoking. On to the next.
FDA recently proposed rules to partially regulate e-cigarettes. It will literally take years before they go into effect. Additionally, the guidelines do not go far enough. They don't address fundamental issues with this product, such as the lack of childproof packaging, the regulation of flavorings that attract children, and the aggressive advertising to young people. In fact, the FDA regulations that are proposed for e-cigarettes are less than the FDA regulations for the manufacturing of dog food.
I'm probably wondering why I let that go on so far. I wanted to kill two bullshits with one stop. The first bullshit is about FDA not doing enough. Mitch Zeller has even said it himself, that the proposed regulations are a way for him to get his foot in the door to be able to regulate the e-cigarette industry. After they get the foot in the door and they can start regulating e-cigarette, you can bet there's going to be a stranglehold put on us. You can bet he's coming after the flavors. You can bet that the only thing he's going to do, like New York wanted to do, make it so the only thing that you can buy are going to be the tobacco flavored crap that Enjoy and Blue put out, instead of the flavored nicotine e-juice that we use as vapors. We are not e-cigarette users, we are vapors. The other bullshit thing that I wanted to point out was her saying that the FDA regulations on e-cigarettes are less than the regulations on dog food. So, I mean, really? What you're trying to do essentially by regulating e-cigarettes as a tobacco product would be as if, say, I tried to regulate hairspray as toothpaste. They're not the same thing at all, by no means, way, stretch, or form. The only thing that e-cigarettes and vaping have in common with tobacco is the fact we use nicotine. Do you like tomatoes on your salad there, Congressman Spear? Because there's nicotine in those tomatoes you're eating. So, you want to go after the nicotine, fine, go after the nicotine. Don't plan on being a vegetarian.
That's why I'm introducing the Stop Selling and Marketing to Our Kids E-Cigarettes Act, known as the Smoke Act. The Smoke Act will extend the same FDA regulations of tobacco products to electronic cigarettes and also...
Again, the same FDA regulations as tobacco products on e-cigarettes. Again, hairspray, toothpaste. Doesn't work.
Address the gaps in FDA proposed rulemaking. It will also regulate electronic cigars, cigarillos, pipes, and hookahs, and the e-liquids as well.
But on the good side, we're going to leave your flavored alcohol alone. You know, you can have that because, I mean, there's like no recorded deaths attributed to alcohol. None.
Legislation will prohibit the sales to minors, prohibit the use of flavorings in electronic tobacco products, establish child-proof packaging standards, because just 1 teaspoon of e-liquid can kill a small child.
That I hate. I hate that more than anything. I've heard this, and from the beginning I had to question that. So you're telling me that this 3 milligram nicotine strength bottle of e-juice, if a child gets as little as a teaspoon of this, it can kill them. Is that true? I don't know. I haven't seen the studies. But what I can say is that they're all using that. Every one of them. A teaspoon of e-liquid can kill a child. My original thought on the whole thing was they're not talking about this. I could be wrong. My thought on it is what they're talking about is when I want to DIY, I buy 100 milligram strength nicotine base. That is what I was thinking they're talking about. Like I said, I could be wrong. I don't know. I haven't seen the study. I have, however, Googled stories about a teaspoon of nicotine, or that teaspoon of e-juice being able to kill a child. And what I came across was story after story after story after story after story after story. The whole first page of the Google stories, every single one of them I read. Every single one of them had in there a teaspoon of e-juice can kill a small child. The other thing that every single one of those articles had was there was no scientific study backing that up in that story at all. If you're going to make a claim like that that could be true, I don't know. But obviously neither do you, because you didn't even bother to take the time to put a link to the study that will prove it. If you're going to report on it, report the whole truth. State your facts. State where you got them from.
Establish dosage limits that harm from accidental ingestion or absorption, and establish concentration levels, limits, and labeling requirements for ingredients, including the additive and poisonous nicotine. E-cigarette poisoning has escalated in recent years, as this graph shows you. Between 2000 2012 and 2013, the number of exposures went from 1.36 per month to 9.6 per month. But here's the worst of it. The majority of these cases were of children 5 years of age or younger.
Okay. Audio's really crappy on that. She turns her head away from the mic. You can't really hear it very well. At the very end, what she said was the majority of those cases were 5-year-old kids and younger. Alright, am I going to call bullshit on exposure going up? No, I'm not going to call bullshit on that. That's a fact. Exposure has gone up. Why has exposure gone up? Because the vaping community has grown so much. More people are going to have more accidents. They're going to have more dripping of fluid on them. Some of them are going to feel the queasiness and not know what to do, so yeah, they're going to call poison control to find out what they need to do. Kudos for you on being responsible and trying to figure out what to do to correct your situation. What I am going to say, though, is that the majority of those cases are 5-year-old kids and younger. Whose fault is that? Why are you blaming the e-juice? It's the e-juice fault that the kid picked up the bottle and drank it. That would be like saying the 8-year-old boy that stole his grandpa's car, took off down the road, creamed through and killed a bunch of kids. It was the car's fault. See how that kind of fits in? It's the car's fault. That basically is what you're saying by saying it's the e-juice's fault that kids are having more and more exposure to this. It's not. It's the damn parents' fault. Put the blame where the blame belongs. If parents are going to have little kids laying around the house and they're going to leave this stuff laying around the house, hold them accountable. Don't hold the entire vaping community accountable because parents can't be responsible.
Finally, the Smoke Act will restrict the marketing and advertising of electronic tobacco products through the FDA by applying the Federal Cigarette and Labeling Advertising Act. And it will also give the Federal Trade Commission the authority to prosecute the advertising, promotion, and marketing of electronic tobacco products and the e-liquids to children as unfair and deceptive practices. So this advertising is patently obvious. A bejeweled Hello Kitty doesn't appeal to 20-something. It appeals to tweeners.
Why, yeah, well, you know, Hello Kitty. What can you say? It obviously appeals to the tweeners, as she calls them. They don't appeal to 20-somethings. Oh, well, would you looky there. You know what that is? Forever 21 has come out with a new line of Hello Kitty. Forever 21. The name in itself states that this is for people who are over 21. So, yeah, bullshit.
The e-cigarette industry has exploded, and the consuming public deserves to be protected, and to do so, the industry must be regulated. You know, here in San Francisco, we sometimes take for granted how far ahead we are of the rest of the country. We have done a lot locally, and I'm delighted to introduce to you Supervisor Eric Marr, who has done locally what I hope to do nationally. And that is, he has authored legislation that has passed here in San Francisco to treat e-cigarettes like regular cigarettes. Please welcome Eric Marr, Supervisor.
Okay, Eric Marr, sorry. Supervisor Eric Marr, San Francisco. He's not a doctor, but he seems to want to pass judgment on it. He was associate professor, I'm going to read all this obviously, I apologize. Associate professor at San Francisco State University. He taught Asian American and ethnic studies, was the assistant dean in New College Law School in San Francisco, where he taught a course on critical race theory, law degree from New College of California, and is an inactive member of the California State Bar. He's the best one to speak about tobacco, I guess. And of course, once again, he is going to be one of the people trying to classify e-cigarettes as tobacco. Hairspray toothpaste. Get what I'm saying? He's best known for trying to create a mandatory anti-war rally. In 2003, Marr, along with school board members Sarah Lipson and Mark Sanchez, floated a resolution to establish a district-wide anti-war rally in protest against the pending U.S. invasion of Iraq, and to create a peace curriculum, meaning you were going to have to take part in this class to pass. Ackerman and other board members objected to the resolution, calling it one-sided and for taking students out of school to participate in the rally. The proposal failed, but a watered-down version was passed, and the board called for a day of on-campus public discussion about the possibility of war in Iraq. Oh, what else did he do? He's also one of the guys that did the banned toy giveaways with kids' meals. Alright, you know, I get it. Kids' meals, the fast food, the toys is what entices the kids to get it, and the food's not all that good. But it's just another way of going after kids. Marr was the chief supporter of the law to ban restaurants from including toys unless the meals were nutritious. For instance, they reduced sugar, fat, sodium content, included fruits and vegetables. Marr said he intended to measure as an incentive for restaurants to sell healthier meal choices. This legislation was passed on an 8-3 vote, despite Mayor Newsom's disapproval and veto. The reason why I bring that up is because it just shows another way that he wants to be the nanny of the state. He wants to take care of the kids and make sure the kids are healthy and getting what they want. Then he goes and does this, Bat Kid. Don't know if you guys know what Bat Kid is about. I had never heard of it until I actually looked into him and what he's about. Marr was criticized for complaining about Bat Kid. Bat Kid was a 5-year-old leukemia sufferer named Miles Scott who was sent by the Make-A-Wish Foundation to rescue San Francisco. Make-A-Wish Foundation. This is the one thing the kid wanted to do, was to be Bat Kid and rescue San Francisco. What's Marr do? Marr wrote on Instagram, waiting for Miles, the Bat Kid, and wondering how many thousands of San Francisco kids living off of SNAP/food stamps could have been fed from the money. Really? Oh, God. For his complaint, Downhall named Mr. Marr the Jerk of the Week. San Francisco Supervisor Eric Marr seemed to have missed the heartwarming lesson behind the day and instead decided to politicize the event. The publication wrote, in the course of what Mayor Ed Lee called Bat Kid Day, the pint-sized superhero saved San Francisco from the Riddler, the Penguin, and the Penguin. In the headline, the San Francisco Chronicle declared Eric Marr as the extra villain of the day. Nice guy. So let's see if this guy can actually speak of health concerns of e-cigs. After all, he's qualified, you know, with all the law and everything he's studied. Since he didn't like Bat Kid, we'll see if we can call out his bullshit his batshit.
Thank you to Congresswoman Spear for the courage to stand up for our children and the public health. I was proud to support with our broad and grassroots tobacco-free coalition local efforts here to control e-cigarettes and to challenge big tobacco. We joined New York City and Chicago and Los Angeles and many other cities several weeks ago to implement our local policies, but it's not enough. And the Smoke Act that Congresswoman Spear and hopefully communities throughout the country will be supporting and passing will go a long way to challenge big tobacco and the e-cigarette industry. I wanted to also acknowledge that our grassroots tobacco-free coalition has the leadership of young people from Vietnamese Youth Development Center and the Youth Leadership Institute that have helped us to...
I just wanted to stop it right there because he's talking about his grass organization for tobacco-free. No tobacco. What part of that do these people not get? Why do they want to classify us as tobacco? We are not tobacco.
Develop much better policies in our city that have a voice of young people speaking for themselves and working on policy making with us in City Hall and hopefully in throughout the country as well. Also, I wanted to say, as Congresswoman Spear mentioned, that e-cigarettes as designed are very sneaky, and the industry knows that they're trying to get around a lot of local decades of work by Professor Stanton Glantz and UCSF and other researchers to limit tobacco marketing. So our efforts are really catching up with this sneaky industry. Big tobacco and the e-cigarette industry also have known that it's a wild west where they can market like crazy to young people, and we're going to work together not just locally here but throughout the country with the Congresswoman to pass the Smoke Act. Lastly, flavors.
How are we marketing to teens? Their only fight on this that we're marketing to teens is the flavors. Okay, well, no, we got the scantily clad blue e-cigarette woman that I seem to appreciate, and I'm a 45-year-old male, but the flavors is their main thing. What part of we have taste buds in our mouth do they not understand? What part of we got away from tobacco? Why would we want to vape something that tastes like tobacco? Don't they understand?
Like Skittles and gummy bears and other types of flavors are clearly not targeted at people my age or others, but it's about addicting and hooking and luring a new generation addicted to nicotine, which is a highly addictive substance that's very harmful to people. So thank you so much for being here, and I give tremendous props to Congresswoman Spear, but especially our grassroots coalition for standing up for kids and for the public health. Thank you.
So the preeminent researcher on tobacco in this country, the outspoken lone wolf for many, many years, is Dr. Stanton Glantz. And we're delighted that he's here today, the director of UCSF Center for Tobacco Control Research and Education, to comment on e-cigarettes.
Well, I'm also here to endorse Congresswoman Spear's vote bill. The FDA has proposed a single regulation that would simply say we have jurisdiction to regulate e-cigarettes without actually doing any regulation. And the terms of this bill to include e-cigarettes in the broadcast ad ban, to put restrictions on nicotine delivery, and to prohibit marketing to kids are something the FDA should have already been proposing in its proposed rule, and hopefully, like the suggestions in this law, the pressures in this law, and the kind of grassroots support that supervisors are always talking about, they'll do it. As Congresswoman Spear said, use among kids is exploding with e-cigarettes. We recently published a paper and found that among kids who experimented with regular cigarettes, if they also use e-cigarettes, they're about 8 times more likely to go on to the staff of smoking. But even among adults, while some adults have used e-cigarettes to quit, when you look at the population of all smokers, e-cigarette use actually depresses. So it's tremendously important that there be effective regulation of these products and of this industry, and that the Obama administration stop waiting and start actually doing something to protect not only our kids, but everyone.
Oh, shit. Sorry. I dozed off. Did I miss anything? Did he say anything important? Anything? Nah. I know he didn't because I saw it before. Anyways, I don't understand why you want to bring in people who have a specialty in the tobacco field. Dr. Glantz, obviously a tobacco expert. It's not tobacco. Get over it. Move on. It's not tobacco. And as far as his study that people are more likely to go from vaping to cigarettes, I have not seen the study. I would love to see this study. I'd love to see this study peer studied, because I can almost guarantee that that's a crock of bullshit. Alright, who do we got next up?
Our next speaker is Dr. Robert Jackler, who co-founded, along with his wife Lori Jackler, the interdisciplinary research group entitled Stanford Research into the Impact of Tobacco Advertising. Sarita. Dr. Jackler?
Thank you, Congresswoman Spear. You know, this week, the United States Senate held hearings, and the chief executive officers of the two leading electronic cigarette companies in America, Blue and Android, both adamantly deny that their brands market to children. Let's look at their ads, and you can judge for yourself whether or not they're telling the truth. Now, these are some, what we'd say, adult flavors. We see Bazooka bubblegum, gummy bear, chocolate, and of course my favorite, pumpkin candy. These are some additional adult flavors. This by the leading brand. We have peach nuts, pina colada. You know, with that, of course, electronic cigarette flavored beer. These are ways that teens can break two adult taboos at the same time, smoking and drinking.
Okay. First of all, in case you were wondering why I held up my bottle and went like that, look, it's flavored pop. I like flavors. But anyways, bullshit 10, I think. I don't know. I lost count a long time ago. But anyways, they're talking about breaking two adult taboos, drinking and smoking at the same time. Well, now let's take me for example. I am a recovering alcoholic. Do I love the taste of a good pina colada? Sure do. Do I love the taste of beer? Yep. Peach schnapps? Yep. Root beer schnapps too. But unfortunately I don't drink anymore. Actually, fortunately, I don't drink anymore. So unfortunately, I can't taste them. Oh, wait. Yeah, I can. Plasmatic tears. Gotta love you, Voodoo Charlie. It's the pina colada flavor, by the way. At least that's what I get out of it.
Now, did you ever wonder if teens were preoccupied with sex? Well, this upper corner, which you see there, is a 2014 Sports Illustrated, after the big tobacco company Lorillard took over the Blue brand. You notice where the Blue logo is? You see what it says? Slim, charged, and ready to go. I can't imagine what that means. Playboy. Blue uses Playboy Playmates to go to schools to market electronic cigarettes.
Wait. Blue uses Playboy Playmates to go to schools to market e-cigarettes. I'm gonna have to assume those would be colleges where, once again, I'm gonna have to assume everyone's over the age of 18. So how's that marketing to teens if they're going to a college? Doesn't make sense to me.
Now, if you ever wonder how far Blue will go in exploring sexual themes for youth, Google Blue, sex with robot, and Stanford. Now,
okay, how can, I don't get it. How can you Google Blue, robot, sex, Stanford, but not Google adults like flavor? How do you miss that? Do Do you actually miss it, or is it just something you didn't want to look at?
Teens are rebellious. Teens like to be individual and to break the rules. So as you see here, this older woman holding her middle finger up. Who would you say would think this is cool? It's kind of like night.
This guy would say that's cool. And I'm not a teen.
Just do it. Rebel. Be individualistic. You know, cartoons, they've been banned since the days of Joe Campbell. Electronic games, which are aimed towards kids on social media. You throw the baby into the pool, and if you do it, you get a discount point to buy their electronic cigarette products online.
It's funny they mention games, which you know, only kids play games. Isn't that right, Sister Creepy? Only kids play games. You know? Yeah. Only kids play games.
You have different socials. Look at these. These are kids and kids-type activities that are there. TV and radio. This year and last year's Super Bowl had electronic cigarette advertising. They pervade radio in the airwaves. But the heaviest marketing is in social media, web video. So who lives in the world of social media?
Let's see. Who lives in the world of social media? Just so you guys know ahead of time, before I even started to do this, as these people were listed, I went and found their Facebook pages, their YouTube pages, their Twitter pages, their Instagrams, their MySpaces, their everything. So you tell me there, guy, who lives in social media? It's not just kids.
After all, what do they get for it? The teens have a lot of money? Of course not. So how do you lure them? You give them free samples. Now, you give them cookies along with the electronic cigarettes, or you have scantily clad girls and boys. So who do you think is going to want to get flavored nicotine products from someone giving them a gift?
DIY One Stop. There's a place that I used to order from, and I used to put Smarties in my bag. And I'm not a kid, so why would they send it to me if I'm not a kid? And all these pictures that you see up there, I've seen every one of those pictures at one point or another. And these pictures are at concerts where, yeah, sure, kids do go to these concerts, but so do adults. They are at sporting events. Yeah, kids go to sporting events, but so do adults. Yeah, they advertise during the Super Bowl. So does frickin' Budweiser, jackwagon.
Like that. Now, it is truly remarkable that the images of doctors and nurses have returned to cigarette marketing in 2014 for the first time since the 1940s. Why, you can even buy vitamin-enriched electronic cigarettes.
Do you want to know the truth of why you're seeing images like doctors and nurses in e-cig ads? Let's put it this way. I've had doctors tell me, oh, you're vaping and not smoking anymore? You feel free to vape in my waiting room anytime you want. Because most of the doctors get it. The doctors that don't get it are the doctors that are following the dribble that you seem to keep to want to promote.
Flavored Oreo cookies. Nutri-Cigs claim if you use their product that you will actually lose weight. And here we have the father of the year toasting his son's milk with beer while smoking an e-cigarette, as though the exhaled nicotine didn't represent a risk.
Had you bother to have done your homework before spouting off that filth, you would know that the study's already been done and put out there, that in a controlled environment, the nicotine vapor that we put off, the nicotine vapor that I take in, is minuscule. my body absorbs most of it, so what I'm putting out is even less than that. So the harm in secondhand vapor, or who the fuck ever came up with third-hand vapor, it's stupid. Read the studies.
I will leave you. You're not going to hold that area. Thank you. I will leave you with images from the 6 United States electronic cigarette companies that advertise breast cancer pink e-cigarettes with phrases such as save a life, save a lung, and save a boob. You know, clearly, this is an absolutely unregulated Wild West of teen-targeted advertising.
Clearly, that was teen-targeted to come out with a cigarette and make them pink to raise money for breast cancer awareness. How dare you, right? How dare you raise money for breast cancer awareness and to save a lung? How are we saving a lung? Because we're not combusting tobacco, which causes the lung cancer. Once again, how dare us?
The industry leaders are shameless in their lies to the United States Congress about the genuine intention of their marketing. I am very grateful to Congresswoman Spear for her bill, which would go a long way to rein in the excess.
I love how he says that the industry is lying to further their agenda, but yet they don't come out and admit about all the lies that they're doing to further promote their agenda. And some of them are half-lies, like e-cigarette smoking is up among teens. Once again, like I said, this is true, it is up again among teens, but teen smoking is at a landmark low. But they don't want you to know that.
We'll leave these posters for you to look at after. Our website, tobacco.stanford.edu, has over 5,500 electronic cigarette advertisements. And if you need imagery for your stories, we're very happy to provide you with a copy.
I actually watched the robot ad, which is up on YouTube, and it should be X-rated on YouTube. It really.
See, she's another one that can look up the robot ad on Google and watch it, but not type in hashtag adults like flavor. Try it once.
Goes above and beyond. We're next going to hear from Dr. Thomas Aragon. Dr. Thomas Aragon is the director of the Population Health Division at the San Francisco Department of Public Health, and he's going to talk to us about smoking as a public health issue. Aragon?
Good morning. Many thanks to Congresswoman Jackie Spear for protecting and promoting the public health in our district. I am the health officer of the city and county of San Francisco and direct.
Just a quick question. How are they protecting and promoting the health of their area when they're trying to ban the e-flavors? Once again, I say, you ban the e-flavoring, give them a death card.
The Public Health Division. I am your community doctor. My job is to protect and promote the health of everyone in San Francisco, but especially our most vulnerable. I live in the city with my wife, who is a first-grade teacher for the public schools. We are raising 3 teenagers, ages 13, 16, and 17. We care deeply about the health of families and keeping San Francisco safe and healthy for families and communities. We are acutely aware of how e-cigarette legislation can directly protect the health of families and communities. As a health officer, my job is to call it as I see it. These facts are indisputable. Number 1, nicotine is addictive.
Nicotine's addictive? I will agree with that fact.
Number 2, the e-cigarette industry is unregulated. E-cigarettes are nicotine delivery devices. And number 3,
I will admit they are unregulated and they are nicotine delivery devices.
The e-cigarette industry is targeting our youth, as was just shown.
Targeting our youth, as just shown. I proved bullshit on every one of your things. So let me rewind this just a little bit. Hopefully I can get it to the right spot.
God, you should call it as I see it. These facts are indisputable.
These facts are indisputable. Just, did I dispute one of them? I think I pretty much disputed every one of those targeting ads.
Number one, nicotine is addictive. Number two, the e-cigarette industry is unregulated. E-cigarettes are nicotine delivery devices. And number three, the e-cigarette industry is targeting our youth, as was just shown. Regulating e-cigarettes is good public health. Regulating e-cigarettes will strengthen our public health protections against promoting nicotine addiction and smoking. Regulating...
Wait. Regulating e-cigarettes is good because you're gonna regulate the nicotine addiction by banning the e-cigarettes. You're not doing anything. You're not doing one damn thing to stop the smoking. If you're so frickin' concerned about saving everybody, ban frickin' tobacco then.
E-cigarettes will strengthen our social norms against smoking cigarettes of any type. Regulating e-cigarettes will prevent increased recruitment of our youth into lifelong nicotine addiction. What is the real issue here?
The real issue here is you're trying now, all of a sudden now, it's not about the tobacco, it's about the nicotine. The nicotine isn't what's giving us the cancer. The nicotine is what's making us addicted to the tobacco that's giving us the cancer. So like I said, if you're really that concerned, get off the e-cigarette bandwagon and jump on the ban the tobacco bandwagon that should have been started and kept going and should have been done by now. But fortunately, unfortunately, I mean, money grubbing douches like yourself who keep getting money put in their back pocket through big tobacco won't fight big tobacco, because then you won't be able to afford that nice suit you're wearing.
The real issue here is the promotion of nicotine addiction, plain and simple. Recently, I spoke to my daughter's 7th grade class about the dangers of smoking and e-cigarettes. I searched for a metaphor to capture their imagination. In this case, it was easy. Zombies, The Walking Dead. Picture this. Zombies are the tobacco industry invading our homes to bite us. We fight back by fortifying our homes with legislation to protect us. But now, The Walking Dead have a new script. They're now body snatchers, appearing normal on the outside, but nonetheless, nicotine zombies on the inside. They are wolves in sheep's clothing, and they want us to trust them and to let them into our homes, into our communities, and into our bodies. They want to lure us a new generation.
I gotta stop it. I'm gonna rewind it a little bit too, just because. Oh, watch Mars' expression in the background. You can almost read his mind. Yes, hypnotize them. Hypnotize them.
Legislation
This guy.
to protect us.
Watch him. Mm-hmm.
But now, The Walking Dead have a new script. They're now body snatchers, appearing normal on the outside, but nonetheless, nicotine zombies on the inside. They are wolves in sheep's clothing, and they want us to trust them and to let them into our homes, into our communities, and into our bodies. They want to lure us a new generation into lifelong nicotine addiction. I am your community doctor. Don't buy it, don't buy it, don't buy it. We support Jackie Spear, and we support...
That's 2 times he said, "I'm your community doctor. I am God. Let me save you."
Slow down.
We're delighted to be here at San Francisco General. We have others from the hospital system that are here that I'd like to just introduce. Chief Nursing Officer Terry D'Antoni. Derek Smith, the San Francisco Department of Health Tobacco-Free Project Leader. Arla Escontria and Anson Moon, both here at the hospital. Next, we're going to hear from Dr. Neil Benowitz, who is the Professor of Medicine and Bioengineering at UCSF and the Associate Medical Director at San Francisco's Division of the California Poison Control System. Please welcome him.
I'm here on behalf of the poison control systems to support the idea that e-cigarettes represent a serious toxicity threat to children, and that there needs to be child-proof packaging for e-cigarettes.
Okay, I will agree, there does need to be child-proof packaging systems in place, for the simple fact that there are irresponsible parents out there.
Nicotine is not in tobacco as an accident. Nicotine is there because it protects the tobacco plant. It's a potent insecticide. Black leaf 40, which many of you may use to spray your roses for aphids, is a nicotine sulfate solution. Small amounts, smokers get a stimulant from nicotine, but in larger amounts, poisons the nervous system. Over many years, there have been numerous people who got sick and have even died from exposure to nicotine pesticides. E-cigarettes presents a new challenge. Some facts about nicotine. The smoker takes in about 1 milligram of 1,000 grams of nicotine in a cigarette. An experienced e-cigarette user eats about the same. The amount of nicotine in a regular cigarette is about 10 milligrams. A child takes that to get sick. These cigarettes, you see here, have got a liquid concentrated nicotine solution inside the cigarette. About 5 milliliters, say an average of 20 milligrams per mil, is 100 milligrams. So in one e-cigarette, there is 10 times as much nicotine as in a regular cigarette. If a child were to consume one...
I gotta replay that.
And even died from exposure to nicotine pesticides. E-cigarettes presents a new challenge. Some facts about nicotine. The smoker takes in about 1 milligram of 1,000 grams of nicotine in a cigarette. An experienced e-cigarette user eats about the same. The amount of nicotine in a regular cigarette is about 10 milligrams. A child takes that to get sick. These cigarettes, you see here, have got a liquid concentrated nicotine solution inside the cigarette. About 5 milliliters, say an average of 20 milligrams per mil, is 100 milligrams. So
20 milligrams per mil? Alright.
In one e-cigarette, there is 10 times as much nicotine as in a regular cigarette. If a child were to consume 1 teaspoon of the solution, it would be far above what we consider to be the lethal range. These are refill bottles containing 30 milliliters. These contain 600 milligrams of nicotine. This is enough to kill half the first grade class.
Did he just say 600 milligrams of nicotine?
The poison control center, the poison control centers around the country have seen escalating numbers of calls about possible poisoning in the past few years. 2,500 calls nationally in the past 3 years. California Poison Control Center had 2 or 3 calls per month in 2012. We're now getting 12 calls per month about possible poisoning cigarettes. So far, we've been lucky there have been no deaths of children. There have been numerous cases of kids getting sick. 40% of the children exposed end up being referred to emergency rooms. Not in the U.S., but in Europe, several children have died from ingestion of e-cigarettes. So the poison control system feels very strong that Congresswoman Spears proposed legislation child-proofing cigarettes and the cartridges and regional products with a very high other cartonal
underscore the fact that these are easily opened by youngsters, and the fact that they're not childproof, and that, as the doctor says, this can kill half of a classroom of kids, should be alarming to all of us.
That one 10 ml bottle can kill half a classroom of kids. Yeah, I'm not buying it. Not at all.
Finally, we're going to hear from a young person who's actually done some studying on this issue. Her name is Elle Yen. She's 17. She's a member of the Vietnamese Youth Development Center, and she has just graduated from Mission High School and will be attending UC Santa Cruz in computer science this summer. Please welcome her.
I gotta stop and apologize. Even on my end, I can't even hear what the hell this kid's trying to say. But first of all, you're going to school for computer science. Go study your computers. Where's that guy from the Mandela funeral? Can we get him up there to do sign language so nobody can still understand what she's saying?
Each one person under 18 and one person over 18. At the stores, we saw large varieties of laser, albumin, and juice, which came in 10 flavors, such as grape, vanilla, orange, and Skittles. Out of the 11 stores that we went to, only one store asked for an ID. This was a big shock to us, because store owners are supposed to ID anyone who was under 18 to 5. After coming back to the e-cigs and accessories in hand, we concluded that e-cigarettes are not only widely available, they're also very easy accessible by youth. So, lately, it doesn't even have to take the business to the store.
The only thing I understood in her entire speech was there was a truck backing up. That was it. Alright, that is the end of that video.
Good morning, everyone.
Yeah, let's really not watch this again, please. Thank you. So yeah, I'm going to post her link down there below. Everybody needs to blast her and tell her what a ridiculous idea this is. That they need to quit trying to be our mommies and daddies. Nobody's marketing to teens. Get a 3-year thick head. Adults like flavors. Adults like sexy ads. If they're going to attract college kids, that picture you see behind me, or behind them, obviously they're going to use college-aged looking kids to do the advertising. Would you rather have them see grandma rolling around? Hey Sonny, you ought to try vaping. It's pretty good. No, they're going to use what sells. They're going to use what sells to who they're directing at. Those ads are directed to college-age kids, not school. It's like that Playboy model thing going to the schools to advertise. That guy tried to make it sound like they were going to your elementary school. First of all, why would your elementary school let Playboy bunnies come in to do anything? Anyways, blast these people and let them know what a stupid idea it is, that they just need to leave us alone. Let the FDA do what they're going to do. We've got CASA, the vaping militia, the Grim Green Freedom to Vape project, I believe it's called. We've got all these projects that are geared towards aiming at the FDA right now. We don't need more people like this coming up and making more trouble. More people like this trying to make everything a nanny state. And it's like I said, you people keep trying to go ahead and ban the flavorings on e-juice. The only thing you're successfully going to do by passing anything like that is just stand there with a deck of cards. Here's your death card. Here's your death card. Here's your death card. Because if it's not for the flavors of these right here, these vaping apparatuses, whatever the hell you want to call them. I'm not going to call it an e-cigarette because it's not an e-cigarette. An e-cigarette is those damn things that look like cigarettes. Those you should ban. Not really. Take that back. People have successfully quit smoking using the cigalites. I myself used them, and it was just for a temporary solution, and that was it. But anyways, guys, get involved. I'll post links down below on the people that are in this video, how you can contact them, let them know you saw the video, and call them out on their bullshit. I did it in the video, now you do it.